When I was about 4, I think YuGiOh came on for the first time. Probably Kids WB, if you guys even remember Kids WB. It did come at a time where like Pokemon, Digimon, I think Jackie Chan Avengers, they were all big, and it came out and it genuinely was different. It was something I don't think any of us had ever seen up to that point, and it was incredible to just see like cards, something I don't think I had even paid any attention up to that point, manifest themselves into these cool, original, badass monsters who fought, and it just had such a darker theme than a lot of kid shows were willing to, test the boundaries with, at least that were on Kids WB. And it made me want to go out and collect these cards. It made, like I'm sure it did for a lot of you, and I did for a while. And I, that's genuinely where this love started. What's up, guys? It's the Agent of Power Sun here, and today it's been a while, so I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys about Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess, and how it's affected my life and been a part of my life. And yeah, like I said before my intro, that's really where it started for me. It started back then, but I can be honest, it never really grew into anything quite to the obsession it was later, but I'll get to that. So, 4 or 5, I watched Yu-Gi-Oh whenever I could, because I think after that it went to Cartoon Network for a while. After Pegasus, it went to Cartoon Network, where my family, well, we had moved and didn't really have a lot of money, so we didn't really have cable, and so I could only really watch it when I went to my aunt's house. And that's where I caught it, and I caught a good bit of it. I caught a lot of the tower stuff there, um, and it was that might have been part of my favorite. That's because of Merrick and all that. That really was like probably my favorite, and I really enjoyed it, and it never really grew off me. But it was different being down here and having it, because when I was in California, 4 or 5, it was just really me that I knew that like Yu-Gi-Oh and played Yu-Gi-Oh. I didn't really know a lot of people who did it themselves, or who liked it themselves. Not that I really talked about it much, but I just know it was more of a me thing. My sister watched it, but she didn't care about the card game, or at least didn't want the cards, I guess I should say. And so when I came down here, my cousins were into it, but they were all grown men. They liked the show, but they weren't about to sit there and play the card game because they felt like it was childish, like a lot of people do. Then when I started going to school, I met a couple kids. They all liked it, and they all had all the cool cards and stuff, but none of them really played either. But it was enough, I got the cards and traded it with them, just because that's all I really wanted to do back then, was just have all the cool cards, have all the cards that Jaden uses, and have all the elemental heroes because they reminded me of Power Rangers. Excuse me. And so just kind of did that. And then, after elementary school, went to middle school, which starts at 6th grade down here. I don't think it starts at 6th grade in other states, but in South Carolina it starts at 6th grade. So went, and obviously everyone had grown past Yu-Gi-Oh, and would pick on me for liking the game, and I don't blame them. I think I only had really one friend that still did it, But he was that kind of guy that he had all the cool stuff, but he never wanted to trade it. He just wanted to show it off. So it really made it hard for me to even want to deal with Yu-Gi-Oh too much, because I was like, the only other guy I have to play Yu-Gi-Oh with isn't really into it like I am. He just kind of puts it off, or he just wants to be a show off with it, but doesn't actually want to share the cards. So it was kind of a letdown. So I didn't really touch Yu-Gi-Oh until my seventh grade year, or the summer leading to seventh grade year. My mom took me and my sister and moved us out to California with our dad. And honestly, I didn't really do much with Yu-Gi-Oh there. I got the 5Ds starter deck with junk synchron and stuff in it. But I mean, it was literally just me and Yu-Gi-Oh. So I didn't really do much with it. I just kind of left them sitting in a box somewhere, because all the Yu-Gi-Oh cards I collected over the years, I kind of left in South Carolina with my mom in storage, and so I didn't really have them anymore. Um, so I just kind of started over scratch, but I didn't continue because, like I said, it was just me, and so I just kind of left them. Didn't really think too much about them until I got here, and my mom had a bag of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, just a bag, but it wasn't like all the awesome stuff I had collected. I had at least gotten every structure deck, if nothing else, and I had all kind of crazy stuff that I couldn't appreciate then because I wasn't into the game, but now I can. But it was too late for that. So all the other stuff was in storage, and mom lost the storage, so all my cards were gone. So again, I was essentially starting over from scratch, but because of seventh grade year, it wasn't like a necessity to do it until I met my best friend, who also played the game. Or he didn't play the game, but he still had all of his cards. I'm talking thousands upon thousands of cards. And seeing all those cards just resurged in me. So for some reason I keep burping. Sorry about that. But it resurged it. So we started, taking cards from out of all his little piles and constructing them into decks and having fun that way. Didn't really buy cards until, and I'll admit it, it was the Dark World structure deck. I saw Grapha on the front, and I thought Grapha looked amazing. So I bought it, but I didn't do anything with it. It just kind of sat there. And so we continued to play with our cards, but then I was on YouTube, I guess, or on the internet, and I started looking up Yu-Gi-Oh on the internet, and I got introduced to Dueling Network. And that's when I really just dove into the game. I started playing a lot of Dueling Network. I made Elemental Heroes, and that was around, I want to say, 6 times when they were like super broken. And so I played against that, and I hated that deck, and no matter what I did, I could just not beat that deck. And I can't exactly remember how, but I ended up talking about it with my friends at school. There were some seniors, some juniors, who were like big into anime and stuff like that, and so we kind of talked about all that stuff together or whatever. And they ended up telling me, we play Yu-Gi-Oh, we like Yu-Gi-Oh, which made me want to do it in real life. So then I went and got the Fire King structure deck, and I learned how to play with that, and that's really when I started playing in real life, genuinely. And so I played with them, and somehow, I guess from all the time I spent on DN, I ended up being considered the best one, and I was pretty good, I guess, compared to a bunch of people who were, I guess you can say, casuals of the game. So I did that, and did that for a while, and Somewhere along the lines, I guess around senior year, I didn't really have anyone who was into it as hard as I was. Well, junior year, I started playing football, and I really kind of lost touch with Yu-Gi-Oh. I still played DN from time to time, but it was I spent so much time on football with my girlfriend. I just never really played Yu-Gi-Oh, and I kind of gotten away from it for the most part. Then senior year came around, and I just I played, but again, I didn't really have a lot of people that played with me, so it was just kind of me doing my own thing, which I just didn't really have too much fun with. But I played anyway because I still love the game. And then, let's see. Then that summer, I tried to play a little bit. Didn't really work out too much, but I stayed in the game. And then I went off to college. And again, you want to play with, hung out with nothing but football players. One of my friends tried to learn how to play the game, but I was never good at teaching people how to play Yu-Gi-Oh. So I didn't really get to do too much with it. But then, basically the summer of Necros is when I came back and I met my old friend Philip, who, not Philip, Paul, who he still played, and he had friends that played, and they basically had every deck of the meta. They had Cleese, they had Tellers, they even had Shadows, Necros, they had everything, Infernoids. And so I started playing with them religiously. I started hanging out with them as much as possible. We started playing Yu-Gi-Oh every day. Work, got off, hung out with my girlfriend, played Yu-Gi-Oh. That was basically all I did. And it felt good. But over something stupid, I don't even understand how we fell out, but basically they just stopped talking to me. Because I had a Burning Abyss deck, and then they went off to YCS and sold it for me, but didn't consult me, and so there was like a misunderstanding, and they just stopped talking to me. So, but that was at the end of the summer. I went back to school like a week or two later. And again, I was really in a place where I didn't play much Yu-Gi-Oh. I didn't really have a way to do it. My computer was broken, so I couldn't even play DN. And so I was kind of just left out to dry. You guys probably remember that. That was a lot of my hiatus updates and stuff. But then I ended up having some medical issues, so I left school early and came back here. I fumbled around with that crappy laptop, and I actually found a way to use it to play Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm sorry, guys. I really don't know what's happening. Um, but I did. I used that to play for a while. I was definitely out of the loop. I was definitely not as knowledgeable as I once was. But I still love the game. I think that was around the time I met Aura. It might have been a little earlier than that, but that's when I really met Aura and your Yu-Gi-Oh channel. And, started, hanging out with them. Or, well, doing Yu-Gi-Oh stuff with them a good bit. And it was a fun time, I guess. It was a little strenuous, and I tried to make it work. It wasn't easy. Then I got frustrated with that computer, so I just kind of gave up until I got a new one. Then I got a new one, but I didn't really stay religiously to the Yu-Gi-Oh. And I think that was more because I just kind of given up on my own. It just felt stale. I didn't want to play anymore, which I think we all go through that sometimes. And so it hit me pretty hard I didn't really think I'd ever come back, but here I am looking at Monarchs. This was supposed to be Fire Kings. I just now noticed that, but that's Agent of Power Sun for you, isn't it? But yeah, so I don't know. I just felt like talking about Yu-Gi-Oh and how I got started with Yu-Gi-Oh and basically how my life panned out with Yu-Gi-Oh and where I am now. Um, I don't know if this means I'm gonna get back to making Yu-Gi-Oh content, so I'm not gonna make any promises or even say that yeah this is. But if I probably, I don't know. I'll just have to see. Um, I'm probably gonna make another video like this though, talking about what kind of got me back into the game. But I just wanted to make this and, I guess show you guys I'm still alive. Kind of let you know what's been going on. And yeah, I know this has been a really different video, but I think it's an interesting one to just kind of give a background of where you started with Yu-Gi-Oh, how you came to be with Yu-Gi-Oh. And I'd really like to see a lot of other Yu-Gi tubers do this type of video, just kind of tell us everything about how you started, where you started, what got you in, what kept you, when did you fall out, I guess. And yeah, I'd really like to see other Yu-Gi tubers do this. I would shout someone out, but I feel like that'd be pointless. But any of my friends in the Yu-Gi tuber community, I'd really like to see you guys make this kind of video. Um, and yeah, thank you guys for watching, and see you later, maybe.